There's no point in us pretending that all of the biblical witness is exciting and on and on. See? No point pretending that. We don't need to pretend that. It's not required. Is there a more boring book in the Bible than Leviticus? Maybe Numbers. Have you read Numbers? You don't think it's boring? You shouldn't. But there's a way of reading it. Do you know how you read the book of Numbers? You get up on a high hill. You look down into a valley or some flat land down in there. And you let your imagination go. On the right day when the breeze is coming in the right direction, if you were in the time of the Numbers and you were panning the wilderness, at some point you would hear, what was that noise? That sounded like women singing. Sounded like children laughing. And it was. And you look down, and as you go to the right area, down there are hundreds of thousands of people in the middle of a wilderness, for pity's sake. Down there, there's a square, north, south, east, and west. There are tents set up, and there's a big tent right in the middle. How did these people get here? They had just come out of Egypt not long ago. How could they live in the wilderness, for pity's sake? You see that big tent in the middle? That's the house that God said, make me a house, and I will dwell in the middle of you. North, south, east, and west, the tents. Inside them, a circle of tents for priests and Levites to work with that big central tent. What's the message here? The message, it goes in all kinds of directions. How did they get in the wilderness? That leads to the story of Egypt. How can they survive in the wilderness? That tells you about the one who has condescended to meet them in the big tent. And when it was time for them to journey, if you watched, they would get up like it was an army, which in some respects it was. They'd get up and they'd get in their place and they would march like this massive army. That's the book of Numbers. The book of Numbers is not about numbers. The Hebrew name for it is in the wilderness. See all the genealogies and all the names of the tribes and all the places they've been. Nobody remembered those. When Israel left that and came into Canaan, well, they kept the record, of course. But nobody cared about all the different places. They just knew this. We came through a wilderness. God took care of us. He was center. And the worship of God needs to be center. But more than that, the God who was with us said, I want to live with you in the middle of all of this. Build me a tabernacle. Look around you in the world today, a wilderness world. God's here, living in the church, bringing a message to the whole world. That's the book of Numbers. It's not dull. God bless you.